Welcome to Unveiling Beauty, the video podcast that focuses on your beauty and self-care. I'm your host, Nick Stenson, and joining me today is my good friend, Anna Manukian.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about today's episode.
Me too.
So today we have Cody Guidry, who is the YSL regional makeup artist, to take us through what's fresh and new with YSL. So welcome back to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, so excited to have you
So
back.
excited to be back.
You guys, I think last time you were on, I probably smelled a fragrance. Like I showered probably 5 times after that. I was loving all of it. I put so much of it on, and I'm so excited for the conversation today because
I know. I had to go to dinner with you smelling like that.
how many? Okay. But in all fairness, how many compliments did I get? We sold a lot of fragrance that day because she was fragrant. She was fragrant, and I loved every moment of it. I'm really excited about the conversation. You know, I always look through the lens of like, what am I excited about? What am I geeking over about? And fragrance, as we know, continues to really thrive and continues to be such a relevant place in how we continue to like identify in the scent that we leave behind, right?
Yeah.
So I love this conversation, and especially around Valentine's Day.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I would love to get fragrance as a Valentine's Day present. Would you like to get fragrance as a Valentine's Day present?
The more the merrier.
But help me understand how to choose one, because we also think that, you know, fragrance is very personal, right? It's the accessory that you leave behind. So help us understand how to really create a way to pick a fragrance that's going to match someone's personality or aesthetic.
Well, I really think it's really important to note that for Valentine's Day, especially with fragrance being such a hot gift to give your loved ones, I mean, fragrance is just evoking emotions, like you said. It's evoking memories as well. So you also have to take into consideration whatever fragrance you choose is what someone is going to think about when they think of you, because you gifted it to them, you know? I could think about my mom's fragrance, you know what I mean? And whenever I smell it in store, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's important really to what you want to leave behind for that person in your life, because, you know, you want them to smell something really nice and good.
So I purposely didn't wear any fragrance today because I knew you were bringing some goodies.
Thankfully.
So no, listen, she's about to have some fun. So tell me about, because we know the Black Opium continues to be like the classic
The
it girl
icon.
fragrance, the icon. But I also know that you brought a friend along today.
Yes.
So I was hoping that you would tell me about, okay, what do I need? How do I wear them? Do I layer them? Do I wear them independently? Tell me all the things, Cody. Tell me all the things.
Of course, everything Black Opium we need to know is Black Opium is the staple for that edgy, the night girl. She is the moment. She is iconic. So it's a nice tension between dark and light. And we'll be talking a lot about that tension throughout the fragrances here. For Black Opium itself, you have that tension between that black coffee accord with a bouquet of like white flowers. You got jasmine, orange blossom. It's a beautiful, intoxicating, invigorating fragrance.
I smell all of what you're saying.
And it all reclines on like a beautiful vanilla accord. So it has that warm gourmand scent, you know?
I love
Descriptor.
Yeah. So tell us more about the gourmand, because it does feel like a very blended, like a very elevated, sensual, and like luxurious blend of fragrances.
Oh, absolutely. So gourmand is really what you think about when you think of something that is, it smells edible. Like it smells sweet. You can think about candy, honey, vanilla, or even cherry.
Okay.
With the new Black Opium over red.
Okay, so hold on. So
I love the color.
I love them.
Color's
I want to
stunning.
hold on. Let me see if I can layer these first. Can I layer them?
Absolutely.
What are the rules? Remind us all. For those of us who like to layer, what are the rules with layering?
So for me personally, I always like to start off with something simplistic and then go on top of that with a little spice. Perfect for this, being that it has that same base tone of that beautiful coffee, vanilla. Really, the addition of cherry is really what's going to top this off. So I love this. It's so
It's
good.
actually it feels a little lighter and fresher than the
This feels more like summer.
summery.
Exactly. It's a little sweeter. It has that little bite to it. I mean, cherry is what's in right now. Everybody's going cherry. I think that this is such a perfect rendition of the original Black Opium. I love it to death.
So would you be so bold as to say that this may be like a date night situation, and that might be like a day date situation that's like a light in the daytime?
Most definitely.
More so?
One thing I want to go back to, because I actually do the opposite of what you just said. So I want
Really?
to dissect this a bit. So you said you start with the lighter and you layer on the more spicy, heavier on top of that. Tell me why.
I just find that oftentimes, granted, body chemistry is always a thing. For me, I find whenever I layer on something with a little like spice or something a little heavier, I find that, especially if I'm going from like a daytime to a nighttime, I often start with like something a little lighter. And then I kind of gradually, if I'm going for maybe like a date night, layer on a little something heavier on top of it, just because I find
So as the day goes on, you layer that way. So I'm layering. Okay, it's all by me. Well, I'm layering a little differently now. So what I do is I always layer 2 to 3 every time I wear it. So like I'll start with my heaviest, boldest, deepest fragrance.
Got you.
Then I'll layer a medium, and then I always do the light note on top.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that wrong?
Like a Neapolitan ice cream. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it.
Because I feel like if I put the light on first, then the heavier notes are going to take over.
Overwhelm it.
I think it's, again, it's all a matter of body chemistry for sure. And I think everybody has their own playful way of playing with fragrances. I will definitely give that a try, though. I think that's a wonderful idea.
I'm telling you, it's working.
So what I learned last time, though, because how many of us do this? Like, we always do this.
No, don't crush it.
Don't crush. So notice I'm just smelling it. I spray. We kind of,
I'm still not good at that.
We call it bruising the fragrance.
So don't bruise the fragrance. Very important. Do not. She's too pretty.
The other thing, back to me again. The other thing that I do that's interesting, so I'll put the 2 heavier fragrances on the skin, and I always put the lighter one on the clothes.
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's it. So tell me why.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I just made this up.
Huh. I like it.
See, opposite for me, I adore putting something. You said you put the lighter one on your clothes?
Yeah.
See, I douse myself in something a little heavier, only because I find myself, especially whenever I reach back in my closet for like a nice coat or my trench coats, whatever it may be, oftentimes I'll reach and I'm like, oh, what was I smelling that day? What was I spraying that day? Because I can still smell it on my coat.
Yeah.
I love leaving behind like a little scent, but also where you place the fragrance is also really important. Yes. I'm sure you know that, Nick, with like pulse points, anywhere where you normally get a little warm per se. I love spraying inside of my coats.
Yep.
As I work throughout the day, it kind of, I guess you could say, gusts out and leaves the air around me smelling like really, really nice.
Explain that to the viewer. I think we're too close to it, so we know this. But I think some viewers are like, I just douse my body and then I walk out the door. I mean, that's really what a lot of people, I've watched my parents do that my whole life.
I think if you're going to be, for instance, like a date night we were talking about earlier, with a date night, I think you're going to be doing, I mean, hopefully if the date goes well enough, a little hugging and a little hugging action, anything like that, you're definitely going to want it near, for say, like the back of your ear or on your neck, you know what I mean? On your wrists, anywhere where there's normally a little bit more heat because fragrance, evaporates, it leaves your body. And whenever you have those pulse points where you normally get a little warm, a little toasty, your body chemistry is going to work with that. So it's going to kind of make the fragrance a little... One, it's going to be longer lasting, and 2, it's also going to really help with the smell of letting someone smell it, Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't realize till later in my beauty career the reasons why you spray in certain spots. My methodology was always, I want a little behind the ear and I want a little on the wrist because I'm a hugger. And when I hug people, I come in for the hug and I want you to smell it as I put my arm around you. And then you always hug to the left or right of somebody. So you want to smell nice.
And I definitely think there is like a method of, for those individuals that do like spray in the air and like strut through that mist.
A whole dance move.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a method behind it. I mean, especially I would say for me, I could imagine if something was a little heavier for me, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't necessarily want to keep it so concentrated. I think walking through a fine mist like that would really help kind of lengthen the fragrance, you know what I mean? And just kind of lighten it up a bit.
Which one do you think I do?
Judging based off of our last episode,
and then she's walking
honey,
through it.
I was about to say,
I'm doing it all.
We know she's doing a dance. We just know it.
But it's one of those things that it's such an instant mood lifter, and it's so interesting because it gets to a point where I find for myself that when you get really comfortable with the fragrance, you can no longer smell it yourself.
Absolutely,
right? And
so you believe, just keep layering.
Just keep layering.
I'm the same way. I will literally take a fragrance, and if I don't smell it on me, I'm just like, ugh. Man, I'll reach for it again. I'm just like dousing. There's kids next to me, probably watery eyes, coughing. It's intense, but I love a good scent.
No, but that's also why, like being able to pick up your clothes and smell them later, you're still able to have that connection to it.
Exactly.
So tell me about this guy, though.
Ooh, classic.
I don't want to leave this classic out. And this one is
Yves Saint Laurent. Why?
A very handsome, just sexy.
It's just well established. It has such etiquette. The gradient is also just so sexy. The bottle itself is a pillar of success. So You also have that contrast between dark and light. So you have geranium and sage, all leaning back on like a beautiful, sensual wood. So it's very much for that man that just wants to make a statement that's bold, classy, just like Black Opium. Just a very sexy fragrance.
I agree. It's very sexy. However, fragrances, when you smell them, take you somewhere.
Absolutely.
This takes me to my ex.
Oh,
so
okay.
We're gonna leave it there.
So we're gonna put that one down. So we're gonna put that one down, and we're gonna move on from that. Okay, so let's talk about, because one of the things that I took it was a very sad day. I had a fragrance, and I travel a lot, as both of you do as well. And I sat it on the bathroom counter, and then it shattered, and it completely broke, and that was a really sad day for me, right? So as you can imagine, let's have a moment of peace. Okay. When we talk about, tell me about the sizes that these guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So with Black Opium in particular, Black Opium is available in a travel all the way up to A3, and then with Y, since it is such like a classic in our men's line, it's available all the way from a 2-ounce all the way to a 6.8.
Oh wow,
She's a little heavy. Yeah, it's a big bottle.
That's gonna last you. Well, unless you're Anna.
Listen. Don't knock it till you rock it. I'm telling you. No, but the nice thing is that because I know so many of us, again, now that the world is back to somewhat normal, the new normal, and everyone's back in the office, we're traveling a lot again. You're out for a lot of the day. It's also really great to be able to take something, put it in your purse, keep it at your office desk, wherever you may be, so that you're continuing to like re-energize and refresh your way through the day.
Exactly.
It's lovely.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, all good stuff.
Yes.
Even the one that reminds me of the ex, still good.
Tisk.
Cody, always good to see you. Thank you for being on the show today. And to learn more about all of these great fragrances, make sure you stop into Ulta Beauty's Fragrant Crush and learn all about all the different fragrances that we have in store. I can't wait for you to get your hands on these fragrances. Make sure to click the link below in the caption. Visit an Ulta Beauty store near you. And until next time on Unveiling Beauty, stay well, feel beautiful, and be you.